Hey, what's up, Yoon fam? It is I, Mark Yoon, bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is a little bit of a question that I was thinking about, and I know this has been on some other people's minds as well, as I've seen it come up in conversations and topics throughout the entirety of me doing Soul Calibur VI videos, and that is the joke weapons. More importantly, the joke weapons, where are they at? There are a few joke weapons that are made its way into Soul Calibur VI over the, I guess, 2 years or plus that it's been out, but we've seen very few. The only few examples I've seen is like the Lizardman Parasol for Setsuka, and the flags that have been given to a few select people such as Cervantes and Taki. But outside of that, there's not much else to do with the joke weapons, and these are a staple of Soul Calibur. We've seen them since the earliest iterations of Soul Calibur, whether it be a giant squid that is used by Siegfried or Nightmare, or down to a paintbrush or a net that Link used to use in Soul Calibur 2, the bug catching net. There's been a bunch of fun different weapons that we've seen for every different style. And not only are these useful for gaffing on your buddies when you're trying to fight them online, but it also helps broaden the character creation horizon. You can make joke characters or characters that you couldn't before. For example, I remember Rock's Hammer, I believe in Soul Calibur V, had it was like one of those squeaky hammers, like one of those toys, and I actually used that to create Harley Quinn, because I thought it was the best representation of her character at the time. So there's like a lot of different reasons why they could not be in. I mean, mainly it's probably because of budgetary restrictions. I don't think they're going to bring over the joke weapons from 5 and then leave out the rest of them, because then people will be wondering where they are. So I think they went with a all or nothing approach, which would be interesting if they actually did implement some kind of update to actually update the weapons in the game like they have with some of the other ones. But it's so late in the game now, I'm just assuming they're not going to do that. Maybe with the release of Soul Calibur 7 we can see something along those lines, but it's a little bit too early for us to start speculating on stuff that's going to be in that iteration of the game, being that we're still in probably the ending phase steps of Soul Calibur 6. So we'll talk about that when the time comes. But what do you think about the joke weapons? Do you like them in the previous games? Do you wish they were in this game? Does it add to like the playability? Or is it just an extra gaff that you didn't really look to using too much when you actually had them as an option in the first place? Those comments I would love to hear from down below. But it's interesting to me that they didn't make it in this version of the game, because this is technically a reboot of Soul Calibur 1 and 2. And though they were very, they didn't really have any joke weapons in those early iterations of the game. Well, at least in 1 and Soul Edge, they had some, but not one for every character. But Soul Calibur 2 definitely had a large assortment of joke characters, even if not especially for the guest characters, which was hilarious, because you want to see, you know, Link running around with a bug net. But I think it adds to the gameplay. I don't think it detracts from anything, unless we're talking about like hitbox areas, but that usually goes the same for all the weapons anyway, unless it's like specifically a longer weapon. They usually try to stay within the same hitbox ratio, so I don't understand like why exactly they would be a detraction. I think they would literally just add to the game, if anything, for cosmetic gaff wise. And it was one of the bigger, I think, mishaps that Soul Calibur 6 had, like why they didn't include them. Obviously we can cite budgetary constraints, we can cite them not having all of the access to all of the old joke weapons from the other teams that have produced prior Soul Calibur games, such as Soul Calibur 3 and 2, but it's more interesting to me that they didn't decide to create all new ones instead of bringing them over, because it shouldn't be that hard to I walk that back, because I'm not a software developer, so I don't understand the complexities of the polygonal ratios of creating certain weapons within the same hitbox ratio, but I'm assuming that it would be just a slight cosmetic variation change that they can pretty much just like paste in there, unless there's something with moving pieces like the squid sword, because I believe the legs moved and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I do kind of feel myself missing them whenever I go to choose a weapon for a character. It's not often, but it's more of a, I wish I just had this on backup so I can use it jokingly, or there are certain creative characters I think would have made a really good thing for, like the paintbrush or something like that. But I don't know, I don't really have much else to say on the topic. I just wish that we had some kind of a little bit of transparency or communication based on why they weren't included, because it seems like they were a big part of the game that often other games don't really do. I mean, Tekken 7 has also incorporated joke stuff in with their creation system, but that's been a thing since they've allowed creation or character alterations. So with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on today's video. And as always, guys, thank you.
And thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Have you always wanted some sweet Mark Yoon merch? Maybe a thick U shirt, maybe a shirt from Squirt, maybe my pretty face with my logo all over your body, or a throw pillow, or blanket, or anything? Well, you're in luck, because I just launched my merch store, and it is going to be available on Redbubble, and you will find a link to it in my description box down below. It's got a lot of quality content and a lot of good stuff for you to pick up, so you can show your support for the channel and just rep Mark Yoon.